ingon man sa mga mining communities alang nga sa pag-amping sa gasa sa kinaiyahan ug ang kaakuhan sa katilingban. Ug karon aniyangin yung tigdungala.
Maradyaw na adlaw sa sukinamong tigpaminaw. Magandang araw sa mga tagapakinig ng programang Katilingban o Kinaiyahan. Ako po ang inyong lingkod na si Marie Penelope E. Fang ng Mines and Geosciences Bureau, Regional Office No. 13. Malugod na pagbati po kay MGB 13 OIC Regional Director, Engineer Larry M. Herades at sa mga Division Chiefs at empleyado ng MGB 13 na patuloy sa paghahatid ng serbisyo publiko at pagpapatupad ng responsableng pagmimina. Pagbati rin po sa lahat ng mga mamamayan na kabilang sa industriya ng pagmimina sa Caraga Region. Hangad namin ang mga pagpapala ng araw na ito para sa inyong lahat. Binabati rin po namin ang mga residente sa mga mining communities. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Pagbati rin po sa lahat ng mga partner agencies, local government units, civil society organizations at sectors na katuwang namin upang maipaibayo ang responsableng pagmimina at pagtatag ng mga ligtas, matatag at maunlad na komunidad. Ngayong araw na ito ay magbabahagi po ako ng mga impormasyon tungkol sa mga kaganapan at pagdiriwang sa Department of Environment and Natural Resources at Mines and Geosciences Bureau, Regional Office No. 13. Noong October 4 to 5 ay bumisita po si Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Assistant Secretary for Finance, Information Systems and Mining Concerns na si Engineer Nonita S. Caguioa sa dalawang minahan dito sa Surigao del Norte para makita ang mga mining operations ng Taganito Mining Corporation at Greenstone Resources Corporation. Sinamahan po siya nina MGB Caraga OIC Regional Director Larry Herades at ilan sa mga MGB 13 personnel sa nasabing mine visit. Nakita ni ASEC Caguioa ang best mining and environmental practices na ipinatutupad at isinasagawa sa Taganito Mining Corporation. Nagtour po si ASEC Caguioa sa mine site kasama sina Resident Mine Manager, Engineer Artemio E. Valeroso at ilan sa mga key personnel ng Taganito Mining Corporation. Nakita po ni ASEC Caguioa ang biodiversity and Central Nursery Area, Lantaw Garden View Deck, Botanical Garden, at ang gulayan at umahan sa minahan. Sa Mines View Deck ay nagkaroon ng tree planting activity na kung saan nagtanim po sila ng magkuno o ironwood tree seedlings. Nakibahagi din po si ASEC Caguioa sa isang visual orientation sa care and maintenance status ng Greenstone Resources Corporation na pinangunahan ni GRC Vice President for Government Relations, Mr. Edsel M. Abrasaldo. Sa Greenstone Resources Corporation mine site ay nakita ni ASEC Caguioa ang Shana Pit na matatanaw mula sa view deck, ang portals para sa underground operations, ang maintained tailing storage facilities at ang milling plant. Ang original itinerary ni ASEC Caguioa ay ang pagbisita sa mga island mine sites sa Province of Dinagat Islands at Surigao del Norte, pero hindi po natuloy dahil sa sama ng panahon na dulot ni Tropical Depression Lani. Noong October 14 naman po ay ipinagdiwang natin ang International E-Waste Day. May mga ibabahagi po ako tungkol sa pagdiriwang na ito mula sa Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Environmental Management Bureau, na siyang nanguna sa nasabing pagdiriwang na may temang Consumer is the Key to Circular Economy. E-waste is any kind of discarded electronic devices such as cell phones, computers, keyboards, game consoles, TVs, and households. Tossing these things out in the open can cause hazardous and toxic chemicals to seep into the environment. This growing crisis poses a threat to our environmental well-being. That being said, toxic waste can contaminate water and soil, affect our health, and contribute to carbon emissions. This year's International E-Waste Day will focus on the crucial part each of us has in making circularity a reality for e-products. Did you know? According to the United Nations, in 2021, each person on the planet will produce an average 7.6 kilograms of e-waste, meaning that a massive 57.4 million tons will be generated worldwide. Only 17.4% of this electronic waste, containing a mixture of harmful substances and precious materials, will be recorded as being properly collected, treated, and recycled. The coronavirus outbreak has had a perceptible effect on our use of electronics and digital solutions, with people relying on e-products to keep them connected with work colleagues and in their family and social life. This has not only meant a greater use of technology in the home, it has also led to an increase in the consumption of e-products. In this context, it is even more important to make users aware of the options that exist for their end-of-life equipment. According to a report by the Environmental Management Bureau, the Philippines generated a total of 32,664.41 metric tons of waste, electrical and electronic equipment in 2019. Republic Act 6969, an act to control toxic substances and hazardous and nuclear waste, providing penalties for violations thereof and for other purposes. This law seeks to regulate the importation, manufacture, processing, handling, storage, transportation, sale, distribution, use, treatment, and disposal of toxic chemicals and hazardous wastes that pose risks to human health and the environment. Under the DENR Administrative Order 2013-22, generators, transporters, and treatment, storage, and disposal facilities of hazardous waste are required to register with the Environmental Management Bureau to document and provide comprehensive details of each movement of the waste with the corresponding permit to transport and manifest or the chain of custody document. According to Globe Telecom Incorporated, there are top 6 e-waste facts that you should know now. Number 1, what is e-waste? The United Nations Environment Program and the DENR Environmental Management Bureau define e-waste as any old, non-working, and end-of-life device covering all waste, electrical, and electronic equipment and its components. Among the more familiar items under this category are old mobile phones, broken chargers, laptops, desktops, and other electronic gadgets. It may also include small and large household appliances, as well as consumer, lighting, sports, medical, monitoring, and control equipment. Number 2, just how big is the e-waste problem at present? It is estimated that more than 50 million metric tons of e-waste are produced worldwide every year. The UNEP estimates that out of this number, only 20% are formally recycled and 80% end up in landfills, posing threats to both the environment and human health. In the Philippines, the DNR Environmental Management Bureau also considers e-waste as one of the fastest growing waste streams. Number 3. Aren't these recycled by those engaged in the junkyard business and are a source of livelihood for the informal sector? This is where the danger lies. E-waste is made up of different materials that are toxic and hazardous, making the process of recycling risky. While the informal sector may benefit from this, their methods of dismantling and recycling are not aligned with approved government and health standards. In fact, the UN Environment Program cited in their 2019 report that informal and rudimentary recycling methods, as well as uncontrolled disposal, are responsible for large releases of hazardous chemicals in many developing countries, impacting human health and the environment locally. Women and children, as well as those living in the vicinity of recycling sites, remain among the most vulnerable groups. Hence, programs that help transition the informal sector to a formal one are beneficial to the environment, health, and livelihood of local communities. Number 4. What are some of the elements found in e-waste and how can they actually harm us? According to the Global E-Waste Monitor 2020 report, produced through a collaboration between various organizations such as the United Nations University, the World Health Organization, and International Solid Waste Association, electronic gadgets and their batteries contain several toxic additives or hazardous substances such as mercury, brominated flame retardants, and chlorofluorocarbons or hydrochlorofluorocarbons. The increasing levels of e-waste, low collection rates, and non-environmentally sound disposal and treatment of this waste stream pose significant risks to the environment. E-waste in landfills contaminate the soil and ground, which affect food and water sources, hence posing risks to human health. Number 5. What are the benefits of proper e-waste recycling? First of all, it helps conserve natural resources since materials from old electronics can be used to make new products. Proper e-waste recycling can protect the environment as it reduces the amount of hazardous waste that can end up in landfills and water streams. It also prevents health hazards, especially to those who are settled in informal communities. Lastly, it saves space in landfills by diverting materials to the recycling plants. Number 6. What actually happens to the e-waste when they are discarded properly and responsibly? Upon collection, they are turned over to accredited treatment, storage, and disposal facilities which have the capacity and technology to process hazardous waste. Materials found to still be useful undergo certain processes that may include crushing and sorting, where a filter separates the remaining non-metal powders. The treated metal powder is then further processed to recover gold, silver, and palladium, and are ready for reuse as brand new raw materials. Noong October 16 ay ipinagdiwang po natin ang World Food Day na may temang Our Actions Are Our Future, Better Production, Better Nutrition, a Better Environment, and a Better Life. Ayon sa Food and Agriculture Organization ng United Nations, the food we choose and the way we consume it affect our health and that of our planet. Ang pagkain na pinili natin at ang paraan ng pagkonsumo natin ay nakakaapekto sa ating kalusugan at ang kalusugan din ng ating planeta. Nature works tirelessly to provide us with our essential needs: water, food, clean air, medicine, and materials for shelter. But the way we produce, consume, and waste food is putting unnecessary pressure on natural resources, the environment, and the climate. Ngayon naman po, sa Mines and Geosciences Bureau Regional Office No. 13, ay kasalukuyang nagaganap ang isang virtual Gender and Development Seminar o Webinar na nakatuon sa Republic Act No. 11313 o kilala din sa tawag na Safe Spaces Act. Enacted on April 17, 2019, the Safe Spaces Act provides for the protection of everyone from all forms of gender-based sexual harassment committed in public spaces, including institutions, workplaces, and virtual spaces. Ang webinar na ito ay bahagi po ng continuing education program sa Gender and Development ng aming tanggapan. Mahalaga po ang pag-intindi sa nasabing batas dahil sinisiguro po nito ang pangangalaga at pagprotekta sa lahat, lalong-lalo na sa mga kababaihan, laban sa mga gender-based sexual harassment. Si Attorney Aurora Luan R. Sembrano Ramos, Attorney 4 at Focal Person on Women ng Commission on Human Rights, Caraga Region, ang magbibigay po ng isang masusing lecture tungkol sa Safe Spaces Act. Nakikiisa rin po ang Mines and Geosciences Bureau Regional Office No. 13 sa Breast Cancer Awareness Month na ipinagdiriwang tuwing buwan ng Oktubre para pagtibayin palalo ang kaalaman ng mga tao tungkol sa breast cancer at ang pangangalaga sa mga kababaihan. Mahalaga po na magsama-sama tayo sa layuning ito. Si Dr. Cosnari Esperta Segis, isang Medical Officer 3 ng Department of Emergency Medicine ng Caraga Regional Hospital at isa ring kilalang breast cancer awareness advocate, ang magbibigay ng lecture tungkol sa breast cancer awareness. Ang nasabing webinar ay inorganisa ng Gender and Development Focal Point System ng Mines and Geosciences Bureau Regional Office No. 13 sa pangunguna nina OIC Regional Director Larry Herades at Miss Cecilia Lerio Consuegra. Sana po ay marami kayong napulot na impormasyon ngayong araw na ito. Kung mayroon po kayong mga issues at concerns, maaari po kayong magpadala ng email sa region13@mgb.gov.ph. Uulitin ko po, region13@mgb.gov.ph. Nawa ay maging kaisa namin kayo upang maging ganap ang mga adhikain ng industriya ng pagmimina sa Caraga Region para sa kapakanan ng nakararami. Sa ngalan ng Mines and Geosciences Bureau Regional Office No. 13, maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na suporta at pagtangkilik sa programang Katilingban o Kinaiyahan. Nawa ay patuloy tayong mapuspos ng kabutihan at pagpapala ng Panginoong Diyos sa lahat ng panahon. Magandang araw po at hanggang sa muli.
RPN Radio